Boom, sucker! What's up, everybody? Awall here, bringing you Project TOR, the ultimate community and discussion show on Twitch TV. Look at all those boom suckers in the comments.
Oh my god.
We are live, baby. People are going bananas in the comments. They're going crazy because they want to answer the trivia questions, they want to discuss topics, and they want to be famous on the internet. Look how famous you're becoming right now. Oh my gosh, the fame, the money, the women. Oh yeah, it's all coming to you, and we've got special guests on the show today, some new people that you have not seen before, well really one new person that you have not seen before, and for those of you that are out there that are already familiar with my live stream, you already know who he is. But for those of you out there watching on YouTube, links in the video description below to everything we're talking about, and we do this show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so come tune in to join in on the fun, folks. Let's go straight to the main grid and see who we got. Boom, here we are. Big Nate, our community guest up in the top left-hand corner. How you doing, Big Nate?
Doing just fine, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Up in the top right-hand corner, I've got Vertek, producer at the TORsyndicate.com. Oh my gosh, he's so important and he's so awesome. How you doing, Vertek?
You flatter me, you flatter me. Doing fantastic.
Wonderful.
Be a good night.
And as you can see, we don't have Lord Hammer, we don't have MBD tonight, but that's okay, because we've got our senior PvE correspondent, Bordeaux von Cinnabon, down in the left-hand corner of the illustrious Cinnabon family. How is your fortune doing?
It's tanking right now. All this health-conscious nonsense. Cinnabons, people. Invest in Cinnabons.
Invest in Cinnabons. I know, well, you've got a number of Cinny Minis on the way, so I know that you have to make some cash to support your family. No response there.
No,
crickets,
not at all.
crickets. Okay, that was bad. All right, Big Nate is our community guest for the week, and Big Nate, I'm gonna go ahead and pull you up on the big screen here, and as you guys can see in the background, there is an R2D2 birthday cake. Why is that? Because it's Big Nate's birthday, and so everybody wish Big Nate happy birthday in the comments right there next to his head. And Big Nate, since we have you here, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the community, what you're doing for Star Wars: The Old Republic? And I'm going to go ahead and pull up an internet page here. Oh, look at those happy birthdays being dropped there. That's what's up from the community, showing the love. Showing the love. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Awall's Army page that you put together, because you are the moderator and manager of my live stream, and I really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Well, I appreciate you, having the candor to be able to take me on as your protege. And, I just wanted to express to you guys the community topic of the week basically is supporting your community. I got the opportunities with Awall that you're seeing now, where I'm actually on the air and I'm helping him out with the show because I took an active role in his community that he was trying to build. And, I brought good stuff to the table. I mean, it's not saying that you can't do the same thing with, other hosts or with Awall himself. And, I built that. I just went out and I said, you know what, he doesn't have a fan page, I'm going to build a fan page. So I did the Awall Army. We're up to I think 66 Army members now in Awall's Army. And it grows every day. Every time we have a cast, boom, we get more people posting stuff. Now, another reason why I made the page is so that the chat room doesn't get cluttered up with links and stuff. Because as before, you'd see people posting stuff in the links and stuff, and that's fine. But as a moderator, you'd like to be able to post somewhere other than that so you can go check it out. So if you have an idea or if you want to post something on the show, the best way to get it seen without getting it nuked by me on the show would be to go to our Awall site.
No, hold on, clarify that. I don't think people know what you mean. When you nuke chat, can you go ahead and nuke the chat for us right now, and they'll see it next to your head to know what because I know that's your favorite thing to do, is drop nukes on chat.
It's not my favorite. It just sometimes, people say things that just shouldn't be said, and it is what it is, and so I usually drop nukes in the chat. Hopefully it'll do. There it goes.
Boom! He nuked you, sucker. That's what's up.
So basically, I clear the chat out because sometimes it gets clogged up. Now, links and stuff like that, they add up a whole bunch of other meta tags and stuff that are actually in the chat that you don't see, and that really bogs things down. So when I'm posting links and stuff into the chat room, it's more for the show's benefit, and I'm trying to promote things that the show's trying to get you to go look at, like if it's a link to SWTOR or to Ask a Jedi or whatever, or if it's something really cool, like somebody wanted to just show a picture. But the best way to get that across to us would be to go to the Army site, drop it in there, and then I can go check it out, shrink it down, make it a little less text heavy, using Twitter or whatever other program I use, and then I can drop it in the link, and then you guys can take and enjoy it from the chat room without having to worry about whether or not it's a virus or there's a bug in it, or if it's just somebody spamming uncontrollably. And that's why I like to moderate the chat so heavily, is so that it's for your benefit, so that you don't have to worry about anything that's coming through that way. But as far as, supporting your community, before the show comes up, we always ask, hey, Facebook, Twitter, Google, those things are crucial to spread to everybody that you know, because as you know, this is a viral industry. And so the more people we can contact on a daily basis, the more chances we have for new audience members to come and enjoy the program. And the more people we get, the better and better the program will obviously become, because we're going to have more resources given to us to make the show longer, better, branch it off, whatever it may take. So let's see.
Well, Big Nate, I really appreciate all the work you're doing for my channel, dude, and it really, really helps me out. It really helps build the community, and the fact that you're so community-minded, that's why I want you on the show, bro, because that's what this show is all about. So, that's awesome. And, you have a background in managing programs and managing radio, to my knowledge. I had a conversation with you. You're telling me about that. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a page here. You actually had your own radio show that you were very active in for a while. And you want to tell us a little bit about your background? And then, you're bringing that background to Star Wars: The Old Republic, into the video game community, which is really cool.
Yeah, well, I started out as an intern for a radio station here locally in Seattle area. And after I got done with my internship, I decided to branch out and go out on my own. And I got approached by hosts and stuff that were actually on the show with me, and I was producing shows for them. Well, they wanted an alternative. So I found this way online to basically produce shows, doing radio shows, which you could do on your own for free up to 30 minutes at a time through Blog Talk Radio. And so for the last 2 years, I've been promoting local music and in my charity of choice, which is Rock Out ALS. You can find them on Facebook. But Rock Out ALS is now going nationwide. They actually have places in St. Louis and in New Orleans that are Rock Out ALS affiliated. But the reason I was able to do that is I was able to get the bands and stuff and host my own radio show. But that was before I knew that the capacity for live streaming was there. So now I'm trying to make the transition over from radio into more of a video commentary, which gives it a lot more credibility, and I can go live more with it and stuff. So
nice.
That's a lot, what I'm doing there. So
that's awesome. Well, you guys keep an eye out for Big Nate. He's making things happen. And once again, I really appreciate the work you're doing, bro. And Bordeaux von Cinnabon, I don't want to leave you behind, my friend. I know that you are live streaming quite actively these days, and you're now part of Team TGN, and you're live streaming SWTOR Out the Yin Yang, and you aren't our senior PvE correspondent for no reason. I'm going to go ahead and pull up your live stream channel right now. People can go check this link out. I'm going to go ahead and post it in the Twitch comments. But what have you been doing on your live stream, and have you been enjoying streaming Star Wars: The Old Republic?
Oh my God, streaming is amazing. The community is amazing. When people get in the chat and they talk to you, you're like, wow, I'm making a difference, even if it's only to 2 people. But anyway, it's amazing. It's fun.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. Go support Bordeaux. Link in the video description below on this YouTube video as well. And also, there's a link to him at the bottom of my Twitch channel. Check him out. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
PvP is what I've been doing lately because we had some problems with the guild, but it's resolved itself. But I've been doing PvP for the last week. And I just like to say that if you're a hobo with a shotgun, I'm talking to you, Jin, stop following me. The guy comes up out of nowhere and just blows your head off. And you're just like, what happened? And he just stands there and starts dancing.
All up in your face. Nice.
God. But yeah, it's a blast, and I know why Awall does it. I mean, it's fantastic to get to interact with people who are interested in Star Wars and they're interested in making the community better, and they're interested in video games in general. It's really, really something interesting. So if Awall's not streaming, only if Awall's not streaming, come and see me, and I'll probably curse up a storm.
Nice. I see some people already that are saying that they're following you already. So be sure to do that. He is as ridiculous and entertaining as he is on this show, as he is on a stream. So be sure to follow Bordeaux von Cinnabon. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Now that everybody has a decent idea what you guys are all about, let's go ahead and bring the news to you here and go ahead and start discussing some things. So let's move straight into this big-ass patch that was dropped on us. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on the screen right now. Boom. Patch 1.1.2 with ability delay, combat animation, sprint, and more. Huge patch here, guys. Huge patch with a number of points. And let's just go ahead and cover some of the more exciting ones. In general notes, it is no longer possible to purchase items while holding down Shift, Alt, or Control keys. Okay, let me ask you guys, why exactly did they do that, and do you feel like it's a good thing? It's just a basic thing that needed to happen?
To me, it was one of those, like, there were a lot of people that were trying to just see something and how it looked while they're wearing it, but then they end up clicking the wrong mouse button and they end up buying it instead. So then there goes all of their, just for example's sake, all of their champion commendations. They're gone on the wrong piece because they just wanted to see what it looked like.
I see. So it's basically to prevent people from screwing up, and, you know, I can go ahead, I can support that. I never made that mistake myself because I'm perfect. But let's go ahead and that's a minor thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The haha patch is what you guys are calling it here in our document. But basically, companion characters no longer occasionally appear unclothed. So that's also really nice. And there was a haha video when they're summoned, by the way, and that was a haha video on the TGN network with that, where basically Pure Shield, one of our directors, he had a Jedi Consular, and he made a video called Lovemaking as a male Jedi Consular, and every time he was summoning his companions, he was talking about, I treat my companions with respect. And he's like, let me introduce you to my companions. He'd summon them, and then they'd be naked. So I never experienced this one. I never experienced this bug. Did anybody out there in the audience, and did any of you guys experience this bug, and did you get some lulls out of it?
Skadge, naked. It's disturbing, to say the least.
Ouch.
Just putting it out there.
Scarring your mind forever. Dude, that's the last one I'd want to see. Did you get any of that action, Big Nate?
No, I have not had a companion show up in the buff, no.
I see. Lord Wolf is saying that yes, he did experience that in the comments. How about you, Vertec?
No, it never happened to me, but I saw it happen to others. They'd summon their companion, they'd actually ask me if it looked naked to me as well.
Wow, that's pretty in-depth, bro. Did they look? Wow, okay, fair enough. Now, yeah, I guess when they were naked, was that nakedness visible to everyone, or was it just to you, or?
It seemed kind of random. Sometimes it was just certain people that would see it, and other times it was pretty much everybody.
All right. Fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some more of these patch notes here, because there was a bunch of stuff, including general combat patches. There were just tons of biochem, stem, and med pack changes that were made. And how do you guys feel about this? I know a lot of people have been talking about biochem and how it's just ridiculously powerful, especially in PvP. And do you guys feel like these changes that were made were good or bad? And I'm going to go ahead and pull them up on the page right now so we can take a look. Things like Energize and Exostems no longer require biochem to use, and I've got the patch notes up on the screen. What are you guys' thoughts on these?
I think it makes sense in terms of making the economy more viable, because right now it's set up that whatever you specialize in, that's all you can make. And that's fantastic, but wow, Vertec, you look amazing.
Hold on, let's all take a look. Vertec, that's an amazing transformation. Can you make your mouth do crazy stuff?
Crazy like what? Like
Dang.
Talk? Like I'm a funny guy? Like I'm a funny guy when I'm talking? Yeah.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Anyway, back on topic. This shark is ridiculously distracting. I'm sorry, go ahead, on Cinnabon.
Oh, God. But right now it's set up that whatever you make and whatever you specialize in making, that's all you can use. By removing the requirement to have biochem at 400 opens up the market to everybody and anybody to use this item. And that's great, but it kind of puts everyone else who's not a biochem at a disadvantage. For instance, I'm arms tech. I can't sell a gun to save my life because they are innately inferior to everything else. So I'm sitting here holding the bag, and biochem's over here running around like Scrooge McDuck. You know, it drives me nuts. So I think they need to fix it for everybody.
Well, you just brought up another point. which I want to save that one and maybe discuss that in a moment, about weapons and, can you craft weapons that are worth a damn? Or really all the weapons you can get in the game are pickups from PvP or PvE. But are there any other thoughts from Vertec or Big Nate on biochem and the med pack changes? Do you feel like these are good changes? And do you feel like they're, in either way, do you feel like there are more changes that need to occur in regards to biochem?
Go ahead, Vertec.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I feel it's good for now, just to kind of balance everything out for now until they can work on more in-depth changes on every crew skill. But the question that not a lot of people seem to ask is, would this have seemed balanced with everything else if it were introduced exactly as it is right now? And I would say, yeah, it would seem nicely balanced as it is right now. It's just the change from being OP to normal, normal being compared to everything else is kind of a steep drop.
I see. So basically, its usefulness would really decrease if they, I don't know, it's one of those, this opens up a whole Pandora's box of things to talk about. But I mean, how much of a nerf do you feel like needs to come in place to bring biochem back down to where it should be? This is something we talked about on the stream today, that biochem and stems are just so powerful, and they've been powerful. God, you're like twisting like crazy in that shot. Your shark is going bananas. But and that has been very powerful all the way since beta. And when major nerfs occur, it does cause big issues with people skipping from crew skill to crew skill because they want to hop off board with a particular skill, and they'll dump a skill they already have at 400 just because a nerf came up. So do you feel like making major changes to crew skills, even if they need to be made, I feel like major changes could be detrimental in that regard, just simply because it'll cause people to jump ship, and it could jack up the economy. Do you guys feel like that's a legitimate thing to consider as a developer like BioWare?
It's one of those things where you're, pardon my French, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they don't nerf something, then it's out of control and people complain. And if they do nerf it, then people jump ship and it messes something else up.
Right. They're
in a situation where it's like, it's catch-22. Either I do something and piss 5 people off, or do something and piss another 5 people off.
True. That's a good point. Big Nate, what do you think about this issue? Or are you just not, you don't have biochem, and so you're sort of like, meh. Well, what's your opinion on the issue, Big Nate?
Well, I mean, you're going to see replications of this happen across the board for all crafting. But see, biochem, the reason why it's such a pertinent issue right now is because it is so powerful, especially when you're in game in PvP. Not so much with the weapons, because the weapons are on par with the same kind of benefits you get from crafting those items and then being able to implement them. I mean, if you can make a supersonic, blaster rifle or something for a sniper and have that, everybody want it because it gives you so much, in-game proficiency, then I could see there being an issue. But right now, there needs to be something done because it's just not fair to everybody else with the other crafting.
Fair enough. And with the topic we just brought up a moment ago about, can you craft items that are powerful enough or not? I'm going to save that one. I'm going to put it in our discussion topics for the community for later in the show, because I'd like to know what you think about that one, Cinnabon, and I bet the community has some strong opinions on that one. We've discussed that a lot on the live stream. Let's go ahead and talk about more of the news here, because you guys need to know what the heck is going on. So let me scroll back up to my notes. And another fix in general combat patch notes, sprinting was fixed. Finally. Woo! Heck yeah. Don't have to click that button over and over and over again to make it come back when you hop in and out. Now, let me ask you guys, this sprinting fix, does it basically stay on all the time, moving zone to zone, from death to death? Is it pretty much on straight through, or are there any exceptions where sprint now turns off?
Stays on the whole time, except for when you forget that there's that patch, and when you spawn in a PvP area and you click it out of habit, and you turn it off.
Fair enough. Now, I've done that a couple times already. I'm like, why am I so slow? I feel like an idiot. It's like an automatic thing, like Shift-Alt-2 every single time, along with the rest of those things. But obviously, you're very excited there, Cinnabon.
Oh my god. I'm terrible at PvP, so when some people would die 4 or 5 times in a match, I'm dying like 15 times. And I don't keybind, I just click, and then I'm running like, why am I doing this slow jog and everyone else is just blowing? Oh, that's right. As I'm getting shot in the back of the head. Why did they have to patch this? Why wasn't sprint just a ability when you learned it at level 14? That's just how fast you run. Like, who would turn it off? What possible reason would you turn sprint off for?
RP.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. There's a question here from the audience from Some Better Than You. Where do you get the swagger, Cinnabon? What is he talking about?
I get it from my mama.
Straightforward and honest answers here, folks. That's what we give you on the show. All right, so I think we all agree in the community, lots of yays, and sprints is finally fixed in the comments, so I think we can all agree that that was quite awesome. Now, there's another thing here in general patch notes. Abilities on cooldown are now more easily distinguished from abilities that can be used. This was a hotbar icon change. And this cooldown deal, it really distracted me at first. To me, it was super bright, and I was getting, like, blasted by freaking lasers while I was in the mid of PvP, and I'm like, I can't pay attention to the match because there's so much going on down there in the hotbars. That was my thought going into that one, but then I got used to it over time. Let me ask you guys and folks out in the audience, what do you think of this new global cooldown change and the appearance of the hotbar? Is it distracting, or are you just like, are you down with it?
I thought I was going to have a seizure the first time I looked at it. I just pressed my buttons, and I was like, whoa, wall of white, and it's flashing. And as I'm, again, shot in the back of the head, I want them to change it to something that isn't going to cause people to have a seizure and stick with it. Just leave it alone.
Fair enough. Big Nate, what do you think about it?
You know, it doesn't really bother me that much.
Okay, fair enough. I'm seeing some reactions here from the audience, saying it was a bit distracting at first, strobe lights, but a lot of people saying it's not too bad, or even, I think overall the reaction is fairly positive to this change, and in my opinion, it does communicate that stuff's not on cooldown pretty well, but whether that's a little too much or not, I don't know. What do you think about that, Vertec?
Me, I was surprised by it at first. I didn't think it was going to be that drastic a change. Once I kind of got used to it, I think I like it, but I still think it should just be more of a clock, like a dial type of thing. That way you can see it no matter what. There's no random highlight on the bottom that your countdown timer could be possibly there when you're down to like 10 seconds on a 3-minute cooldown. I see. But other than that, I mean, I like the direction they went with it. Just maybe a touch more tweaking on it would be ideal. Okay. That seems fair enough. That seems like a fair assessment. One thing that it reminded me of when I first saw it, you guys remember Independence Day? When they send up that giant helicopter with all the lights on it to communicate with the mothership? It looked like that to me. It was like, goosh, 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 with lights in my face. Old school reference there. The kids, I don't know if they understand that one. But okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing.
Hey, Awall, though, the first helicopter that had lights on it was from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, wow. See, there you go. Now, you're old schooling me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm 40 years old today. Yay!
Happy birthday. How was that R2-D2 cake, by the way? Was it delicious?
It was yummy. That retinal scan right there was really good.
Yeah, I cut out a piece of the retinal scan earlier from R2-D2's head, and he ate that. That was good times. That was good times earlier in the live stream. Right on, dude. Okay, let's move into the rest of it, because there's a lot of stuff that changed in this patch. This is a huge freaking patch here, guys. PvP stuff. Let me go ahead and try to find that here on the list. But some of the stuff that happened for PvP, where are you, PvP? Here you are. Champion bags were changed in a major way. It is no longer you grab your champ bag and you roll the freaking dice. Like, I literally roll the freaking dice on my live stream whenever I open a champ bag. I'm like, am I going to get a champ item? I don't know. Am I going to get a shoddy amount of commendations? Who knows? So the old system made it to where you would get champ items randomly, and then you would very slowly be able to accrue Centurion items. Now champ bags pretty much always contain Centurion commendations as well as champion commendations and a chance to directly obtain a champion item. But that has been reduced significantly. So basically the system's oriented around you can pick up Centurion items a lot faster. Is this a good thing, bad thing? What are your thoughts, guys? Are you saying thank God? Is this a great change moving forward? Or I don't know. This is sort of a complicated issue because we've all been working with a broken system so far. So I'm going to kick that over to Von Cinnabon first.
Oh, God. You mean the bags of disappointment? The bags that you just open and you're immediately like, well, I could have put my hand in the door and just slammed it and been like, ow, that hurt. Or I can open these 3 bags and be disappointed. I don't know what designer came up with that, but that guy's like, I hate PvPers, and you will get nothing for your trouble. I'm happy that they changed the system a little bit, but because they've reduced the chance of just getting an item, it makes it more of a gradual progression towards gearing up, opposed to boom, boom, boom. You got 4 pieces in a row, and you're not getting anything for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's good, but at the same time, you start looking at that insurmountable mountain of accommodations you have to get in. Like, this is going to take forever. But I guess it's better than not getting anything at all.
Fair enough. Okay. I can definitely understand your point. I think it's frustrating either way, but I'll elaborate that in a moment. Big Nate, you look like you're chomping at the bit to say something about this.
Well, I mean, accommodations is one thing. If you're going to make it to where you have to spend, fictitious tokens to buy your gear, fine. But if you're going to, I mean, if I wanted to buy a lottery ticket, I'd just take $1 down to the convenience store. Honestly.
Right.
No, when you're in PvP, you're there for a reason. You're trying to win the match, and if you do or don't, that depends on how much time you spend in the game.
Sure.
And how good you are. And if you're showing great skill by just whooping it up, like what Cinnabon said, that he had 9 matches in a row today that they won. Right? I mean, that was crazy.
So that's awesome. So you're saying there should be, he should be rewarded. He should be, be rewarded greater because he won those matches? I mean, because currently at level 50, you don't really get any better rewards for winning. In fact, you get better rewards just for focusing on damage and focusing on healing and bumping up your numbers. But is that the road you're going down with this, or do you have another point?
Well, there's lots of points that can be made with PvP, and you know this. I mean, we've gone up and down with it all the time.
I go on and on about it, yes.
But the fact is this, is like, you're either going to create a system that's going to work economically with what the PvPers are able to accomplish as a goal in the game. What we see all time and time again is they're getting medals and commendations and stuff for basically, as far as their valor and stuff is concerned in the game. That's one thing. But then not to receive any kind of benefit for like making a good pass or making so many touchdowns in a row or this or that. I mean, they really have to take a look at what they want to, put into the whole PvP reward system. But for right now, I think that by having it the way it is now, it's a little more fair, and people can just expect not, to be disappointed. And then if they get something, they can go, yay!
So always being disappointed is better than always being pissed off because you get like 5 relics in a row.
Well, is
that the trade-off here?
You know what to expect. I mean, you know what's in the bag.
Right.
You know what's going to be in there. Okay, I'm going to get my accommodations. If you see something other than that, you're like, oh, what's that?
That's true.
Fair enough. Vertec, what do you think about this? I know you're a decent PvPer. You do a decent amount of it, and you're decently geared already. So I'd love to know your perspective on this.
Well, like you were saying, I'm pretty well geared out, all champion stuff right now, and I have a little Lobby that's about ready to start running through it. So from both perspectives, I'm about to hit Battle Master on the big guy. Yay. But, Yay. But I really like the change because you can look forward to buying X piece in X amount of bags. You know that if you'd finish 3 dailies and 1 weekly, you will get this piece. Now, along the way, when you have those 6 bags you're going to open, you might have a chance of getting a bonus as well.
Fair enough. I'm seeing a lot of comments. This whole PvP issue's bringing up so much controversy, so that's why we got some PvP stuff to discuss later in the program. But my thoughts on this, I'll very briefly say, I think that the new accommodation system is great. Reason being, more times than not, players are going to come into the game as fresh 50s. When you come in as a fresh 50 with no gear into PvP, you suck. So, it is very important that you get that Centurion gear as soon as possible. And so I think having the greater amount of Centurion tokens is going to help people gear up with so-so PvP gears, just so that they can be competitive when they hit 50. And the decreased amount of champion comms, I think that this system is the right direction to go in, and it will alleviate the you sucking factor. The big problem here is that there are so many people that are fully battle mastered out already. This system's going to help people get geared up quickly, but you are going to get your face beat in even more now, hopping in as a fresh 50 into PvP, because so many people have just got these random rolls on champ items over time, and the system, I feel as it is right now, will get you a lot of that higher level gear faster. And now new players coming in, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to that higher level gear. So it's a trade-off. I think this is the right direction. And there's a second part to this issue, guys. Battlemaster bags now contain 15 champion accommodations. Can somebody please explain that to me? Because I'm about to hit Battlemaster in 1 level. So I will be starting to experience the fury of that. So how exactly are Battlemaster bags going to work at this point with this change?
You'll still have a chance at getting the Battlemaster tokens, but you'll definitely get the 15 champions. So basically, once you hit a certain Valor level, 60, you become Battlemaster, and you can start buying the Battlemaster bags, en masse. Well, or not really buying them, but earning them either way on dailies and weeklies and such.
Right.
Now, in case you're not fully geared out yet, you're getting that big bonus in champion commendations, so you can make sure that you're at least fully geared out in champion.
Okay. All right, fair enough, fair enough. I'm seeing a comment here from Kanetasu, a very passionate comment, saying a fresh 50 doesn't deserve more champ gear than a person who's been PvPing a long time and hasn't been as lucky as the fresh 50 who comes in who can have consistent gear. I know that's an issue. And for guys like me who have PvP'd all their way from level 10 to 50, it's kind of upsetting to think of, somebody can come in here and get consistent gear where I had to work with random drops. I've got, in my locker, I've got 3 offhands just chilling there, and I've got like 3 relics just chilling there that I'm never going to turn in and I'm never going to use. And, that's pretty frustrating. That's pretty frustrating. So, I can definitely see where you're coming from. And also allocation, somebody who's a level 70 Valor player, nice graphic there, by the way. He's a level 70 Valor. He says he has 8 pairs of legs sitting in his locker because of the random rolls thing with champions. So, anyway, the new system going to alleviate at least that random foolishness in that regard. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject, as PvP is obviously in development and needs a real decent amount of work. I think we can all agree on that. So let's move to PvE in terms of news. And by the way, Vertec, what is this head that you have on right now? Who are you supposed to be?
I don't know. It was just a random thing on the Logitech, whatever. It's some kind of, I think, web show. There's like 3 different characters, and I like this guy better. I picked him.
Cool pink sunglasses, bro. Cool story, bro.
Is Michael Jackson
like that, rose tinted. Here's when I'm going to talk about the good old days.
Oh, jeez.
Alrighty then. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. PvE operations. SOA now frees all players in mine traps before transitioning to the platform phase. Players will no longer be stuck in mine traps during the platforming sequence as a result. Is this something that you've experienced? I'm going to kick it over to our senior PvE correspondent. And in fact, I'll let you just go ahead and cover and take the lead on these 3 operations subjects, since you are our resident expert.
Gotcha. All right, well, what would happen is, as you're fighting Soul or whatever, he would grab someone, suck him into a mine trap. Now, the problem with that is he is a percentage-based boss. So once he drops down to a certain percentage, he transitions to the next phase. Well, that person's still in a mine trap, and the floor is breaking down, and everyone has to scatter, in essence, leaving that person trapped indefinitely. What this does is, instead of that person being trapped, in essence, killing them, removing them from the fight, it throws them out, it kicks them out, spits them out or whatever, and they're able to go ahead and rejoin the fight, opposed to having to throttle your DPS. So, oh, wait, Steve's in the mine trap, everybody stop. Okay, get him out. All right, everybody on Soul. Oh, he's got Mike in the mine trap. All right, stop. Instead of doing that, it's burn Soa, he'll spit Mike out, we'll deal with it when Mike gets spit out. It's a good move, it's the correct move. I don't know why it would have been any other way besides this from the beginning, but at least BioWare's learning, I guess. Fair enough.
All right. What do you guys think about this? Do you more or less agree that this is a good thing, that this has been fixed? I saw you shaking your head. Yeah. Big over there, Big Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this get played several times through different channels and stuff, and this I haven't faced this guy myself, but I wanted to learn how to in case I ever did. And it was just like, I was like, how can you do this? It took him like 8 tries to try to get through this thing. And it's just like, that's just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but this should definitely help.
Fair enough. All right, Von Cinnabon, there's a number of other operations changes, and I actually skipped over some Flashpoint changes, so I'm sorry. Please, continue the joke.
All right. Players released from Soul's mine trap after he is defeated are now teleported to the appropriate location, allowing them to claim their loot. Basically, what would happen is, if I killed Soa and I was on the bottom platform, that's the floor or whatever, and I'm dead, I could come back in, But when I came back in, I would start at the top of the tower, and I'd have to jump down and die to be rezzed. And the thing about it is, half the time, the people who are on the ground floor aren't out of combat yet for some reason. It's stuck in a combat loop, so they can't res me. I've died once, I've come back in, I've suicided, I'm still dead, and I still can't res, and they can't give me anything out of the bag because it's on normal mode, or off the boss because it's on normal mode. And so we ran into that, I think 2 weeks in a row, where 4 people didn't get squat, but there was stuff for them on the boss. And so we're just like, we just had to leave it. There's nothing we could do about it.
Fair enough. So, anybody out there in the audience experience this? I mean, it just sounds like this is just stuff that is broken, and they're just trying to fix the brokenness. And we're still in that phase right now. And as I've said before, I think we're going to be in the fix the brokenness phase. For the first 6 months of this game. I mean, that's pretty typical for MMOs. So obviously you're happy to see that these changes are being implemented. The question is, how many broken things are there like this out there, and how long do you think it'll take to get all of these super broke ass things fixed over time, Von Cinnabon?
Oh god, there's so many broken things in this game. It doesn't make the game unplayable, but it definitely adds a element of difficulty that doesn't need to be there.
So there's hard mode, there's nightmare mode, and then there's ridiculous
BioWare
mode.
Yeah, there's BioWare mode.
BioWare mode. Ooh, sticking it to you, BioWare.
Oh man, for instance, there's Battle for Ilum, where one of the bosses is just not melee friendly. Like, you can kill him with a melee group if you're willing to spend 50,000 credits pop on repair bills. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't be, I guess, cornered and say I have to bring range to kill a instance boss. But let's see. Next on the list, we've got Ricotta weapons are now correctly rating 140 and are fitted with Mark 25 modifications. These items were previously less powerful than intended. I don't have a Ricotta weapon. I don't, because I'm terrible.
You're all Columai?
Yeah, all of it is. Well, I got Ricotta boots, but basically the weapons had like level 56 mods in there, and now they have 58 mods in there. And we had one of our guild members run into a problem where he pulled out all of his 56 mods out of his Ricotta weapon, put in 58s that he had, and then they changed it. And he's like, well, do I get the mods in my bag, or how does this work? The answer is no. If you ripped it out, you don't get squat. Just want you to be aware of that.
They just go away? They just disappear? Is that what you're saying?
No, like for instance, I have a gun and it has 2 mods. I rip them both out and I put in 2 of my own. Then they changed it, and they were supposed to put 58 mods in my gun, but they didn't give me anything. They were just like, well, you already ripped them out, you don't get anything. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So, brokenness.
Oh yeah,
Brokenness. Okay, fair enough. There was also some stuff here for PvE Flash. How many did any of you guys experience this? Big Nate or Vertec?
Yeah, as far as the Ricotta or the flashpoints?
As far as the Ricotta gear is concerned.
No, not yet.
Not yet? How about you, Vertec?
Ricotta gear, I noticed the weapon change, but I haven't gotten a main hand, so it didn't affect me. Because luckily, the operatives, our offhand was already correct because it wasn't based on mods being put into it. It wasn't socketed, it was just straight stats. So our offhand was good.
Okay, gotcha. All right, Cinnabon, we've got some PvE Flashpoint changes that occurred here as well. So some major stuff that's getting fixed for Flashpoints. What do you think of this stuff? I'll let you go ahead and tell everybody about it.
Let's see. Jendo Cray ship no longer occasionally enters a state that prevents it from taking damage. In the Jendo Cray fight, I did a YouTube video on how to cheese it, but you're supposed to use the consoles, the turret consoles, to hit his ship and knock it out of firing range. What would happen occasionally, you would hit the middle console or the far left console, it would fire, the ship would do the animation like it took damage, and then it would just keep shooting, and it would build up damage and it would wipe you. So it was a bug as if you were doing the animation, but the ship didn't register the hits. Mm-hmm. And that sucks because you're doing the fight correctly. You're not cheating. You're not trying to cheese it. And it's just broken. And you just die because it's broken. And unless you're like just stupidly well geared, there's really no way to circumvent 400% damage.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Commendation rewards from hard mode Flashpoint daily and weekly missions and Operation weekly missions have been increased. Thank God. you used to get like a handful of accommodations in a bag for doing the weekly, let's say, go kill Garge on hard mode. You would kill him, you would get like 4, I don't know, was it 4 or 8 Kalumi accommodations. That's not a problem if Kalumi items cost 20 Kalumi accommodations. They cost like 67. It's going to take me 6 months to get enough Kalumi accommodations to buy anything. And so this is, I think it's, instead of like 8, it's like 20 now. So you only have to do it for a couple of weeks now instead of forever. But it's a good change overall.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, so major changes here to PvE. A lot of the stuff really isn't discussable. It's just more like, you know, have you been jacked over by this stuff? Yup. Okay, glad it's fixed. Cool. All right, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And this is good stuff, and hopefully there's more big stuff like this to come. And I saw a point there from Allocation saying that we should discuss the changes being made to assassins. And I'm looking through the notes here. Was there anything of note that you guys know about, changes to assassins that have come up, or is that in the patch coming up immediately very soon? Oh, I'm sorry, this is the Inquisitor stuff, the big changes here to Inquisitor. How many of you guys have Inquisitor characters that you are rocking out as your main? And do any of you guys want to talk about these changes?
Me, none. I haven't even touched an Inquisitor yet, so that's why I didn't kind of say anything about that, because I really don't know what to say. I haven't seen any of the changes affect me in PvP, so I really don't know anything to say about it, really.
Gotcha. I mean, major changes here to the Assassin. Saber charges now cost 100 force. There's just major changes here to Darkness, Deception, and the Madness tree. I mean, this is a big chunk of changes in Allocation. I know this is affecting you greatly, and folks in the audience, what do you guys think of these changes to the Sith Inquisitor to the Assassin? I'd be really curious to know what you think. I mean, it was definitely a nerf, but it was namely a nerf to the Assassin here is the comment, and fair enough. Do you guys feel like these were good changes, bad changes? What?
For PvP, for some of this is actually affecting their burst damage, which is good because an assassin, just like an operative, shouldn't be able to come out of stealth and just one-shot somebody, or in the operative's case, 5-shot somebody. And some of these changes basically cause them not to be able to do hard-hitting move after hard-hitting move after hard-hitting move. Overall, I think it's a good thing for balance, but the problem is a lot of people are having trouble adjusting to this, I guess, this new play style that you can't just run up and mollywop somebody. So I understand some of the frustration.
How is this affecting PvE? Have you seen it affect PvE, or is it really not hitting PvE too hard? Do they still have the sustain damage needed for PvE to properly DPS in PvE?
I think they do, but without some sort of damage meter or whatever, it's hard to tell how big the hit's been.
Alright, here's Allocation, a dude who's played more PvP than I've been alive, somehow. Yes, it's mainly everyone use Dark Charge, which is the tank charge for PvP while they DPS. And Allocation, I'm sure, has some strong thoughts about this, so maybe we'll bring Allocation on later onto the show to discuss these changes. But major changes here occurred, and if you guys want to check out these changes, links in the video description below if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, I posted it up in the Twitch chat. But we can't discuss this one for too long because we are going to move into our discussion topics. And we've got some real good ones this week, so I'm going to go ahead and play an advertisement, and we'll be right back to go ahead and discuss the hottest topics in Star Wars The Old Republic. RDRR.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is Awall a pirate?
Alright, cool. We got a 30-second commercial, and then we're going to be right back. That is a creepy sock puppet, bro.
You like that? Phenomena.
I gotta get one of those.
Phenomena.
Was it just one of the Logitech?
What's
Yeah.
that? Oh, the crazy Logitech software? Evidently, there was some KY jelly ads. My bad, dog. My bad. And before we get into the discussion, actually, there was one thing I did want to show you guys. As you guys know, tonight, there is going to be a patch that is going to be dropped. There's a patch that's going to be dropped tonight. And before we get into that, Vertec on pen and paper, could you please describe to us what the major changes that are going to occur here before we move into the big discussion topics? And I think this is going to lead us in to some of our discussion topics, and that's why we saved it, my friend. Vertec, what do you got for us on this big patch that's being dropped?
Okay, this one, again, I didn't really experience this myself, but apparently there were some issues with player kills not properly granting Valor or mission credit for your dailies or weeklies. So it's kind of like an emergency patch. I mean, obviously they just dumped a big one on us, but it's going to be an emergency patch up to 4 hours, they say. So it must have some heavy coding to do in there. Is anybody else out there in the audience, did you experience anything that wasn't counting quite right?
Shoot, before we go to the audience, why don't we go straight to your old boy Awall? And yes, there are tons of things that weren't counting correctly, in my opinion. There were long periods of time in PvE when we're doing Ilum content, and this is going to lead us in very nicely to our discussion topics. When I'm doing Ilum content, and I straight up don't get any Valor for like 10 minutes. But I am AoEing the crap out of everybody. I'm buffing everybody. I'm just straight up jet charging in the middle of their group, using my flame sweep move and like damaging like 20 of these dudes. And then I come back, no Valor. Zilch. However, if I leave and I go to the Imperial Fleet and I come on back, all of a sudden, ding, 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 oh, it's going off the charts, and then it'll stop for 10 minutes. And it's just crazy. It seems random. I know there are some systems in place to where people that die and they come back for X amount of minutes, you can't get Valor off of killing them. However, I know that wasn't the case on all those people, because I was just straight up AoEing everybody so hardcore. That's what the Bounty Hunter Power Tech does so well, and I felt like I was being cheated, good sir. So anyway, audience, what do you guys think? Von Cinnabon and Big Nate, what do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and take a look at... Oh, here we go. Here's a comment here. Zenon XI Beta Co-caster on the program saying, lots of kills, yay, 20 Valor. Womp, womp, wow. And saying, yeah, it's finally fixed, says Nightmare. Hooray, it's being fixed. Other comments here from Lord Wolf. You know, a lot of people are being, you know, very vocal about this. And you kill 3 people in Ilum and get like 1 Valor maybe, says Nightmare. So, you know, a lot of people agreeing that it wasn't right. It just wasn't working right. Von Cinnabon and Big Nate, you guys feeling it?
Well, like with License to Ilum, there have been numerous times watching you guys play on Ilum, and you guys would, what's going on? I'm not getting Valor, I'm not getting Valor, I'm not getting Valor. They say they're going to fix it, but I'm going to wait the jury's going to be out until they actually go back to play the way you guys were playing, and if it counts or not, and we'll see.
Fair enough, fair enough. Hopefully this patch does fix it up. Von Cinnabon, have you been getting cheated? Have you been raging? How many mice have you broken on this one?
Oh god, I've been out to Ilum probably 3 times since they did the patch eons ago or whatever, and every time I go out there, I'm not getting any Valor anyway, because the Republic is rolling around like the gangs out of Mad Max, and I'm just on my little putt-putt thinking, well, maybe I can get one of them. No. So I don't know anything about that except Jin awesome. You stay away from me, sir. You stay away.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So I think the audience agrees. We all agree that this needs to be fixed, and that's a good thing. Were there any other major changes here, Vertec, in this patch being dropped tonight, or is this just a quick couple fixes?
It's just a quick couple fixes there, but yeah, now that I see what you guys are talking about, I just assumed that it was me being a healer and why I wasn't getting credit, because even in, you know, a war zone, I could be spamming heals and I'll end up with 9 kills and other people have 40. So
right.
I figured it was just me, you know, being a healer that was affecting that, so...
Well, you know, a trick that I learned from Towley on this one, you know, if you're a healer, if you're sitting in the back and you're just defending people and you're just kind of being a defender, you can rebuff over and over and over again. I see Towley doing that, and then it helps refresh things a bit, and it helps people get some more credit for more Valor if they're sitting on the back lines and being in more of a supportive or defensive role. Have you tried that trick, Vertec?
Yes, I have.
Oh my god, it's a freaking cat.
Meow. No, I buff like crazy just because, I mean, people die, they get brought back up, they spawn, they come back into the fight, and I want them to be buffed up when I'm healing them so that, you know, they take longer to kill and or kill stuff before they attack me. But my theory on that is that if somebody enters combat and they're just out of, like, your combat area zone, your buff will reach them and get you in combat as well, so you'll get partial credit for that kill.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, you should get partial credit. Well, okay, so hopefully this fixes things. I'm going to go ahead and try it out on my live stream, kill a lot of people in PV, and kill a lot of people out in Ilum. It'll be like a 15 kills to 1 death ratio as I normally rock out in Ilum. So, alright, that sounds exciting. Let's go ahead and move on. This does bring us to a discussion topic which directly affects Ilum. and this is something that Big Nate brought up, in terms of communication within open groups in PvP. And he brought up the point of, do we want voice chat in-game? Are there any other systems that can be put into place to increase communication? Reason being, when I'm leading a group in Ilum, for example, I use all caps all the time. That's just how I roll. But I have to all cap something like 6 times as the ops leader in all red just to get them to try something or to move to a new location. And it's very, very difficult to coordinate with anyone outside of a TeamSpeak or Ventrilo program. And especially when you're picking up random pugs, and especially when it's PvP, there's red stuff running around all over the place, and they just want to kill it. And it's really hard to wrangle up these kids who don't want to listen to you. So, Big Nate, you were the one that wanted to bring this forward. So let me just bring this over to you first. What are your ideas here? Just share it with us.
Well, there's a number of different things you can do. You know, the voice command chat, stuff like that would work. If you wanted to hotkey certain commands to your group, that could definitely be done so that you don't have to sit there and type out the full command. You have like a database that's in game that you've created for your ops team to utilize, so that if you hit shift whatever as a hotkey, it automatically just tells them do this. And you know, it's a lot like the military, because I was in the military and we didn't use words, we used hand signals. Obviously that doesn't work in game, because you can't see a guy when he's getting exploded on, you know, go like, move this way, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely right.
You know, if you hotkeyed it, or if you had some sort of voice recognition, you know, to where you could just hit a key and then tell the command and it would just print it out for you. I know I'm grasping at straws here to make things better for PvP, but these are all good things that need to be implemented eventually so that people can stay interested in the PvP market. So.
Okay, I mean, I definitely think there's a real problem here, and the fact that you're trying to present some solutions for it is great, because yes, coordination with giant-ass pug groups is a major, major problem. Von Cinnabizzle, what do you think about the subject? Well, before you get into it, let me read a comment here from the audience, and then I'll kick it over to you, Von Cinnabon.
Okay.
One is, I want voice chat instead of vent with so many annoying prugs, and then breaks his monitor is a comment from Nightmare. So yes, you know, there's so many pugs. It's so freaking annoying not to be able to coordinate with these people, and they're just running off doing their own thing and being idiots. Another point here from Zach is that the only bad thing about voice chat in game is that they're usually very low quality. So that is true. To save on bandwidth, and I will bring up another point in a moment about what in-game chat is also I've seen in other games, because it gets kind of ridiculous. But Von Cinnabon, just drop it on us. What do you think about this, bro?
Oh, yeah, I like what Nate was saying, like an idea of some sort of command or whatever that you already have typed out. Is like, everybody left, stop, right, kill this guy, you know, something like that. But any sort of voice chat, no thank you. The things people will say on the internet because of anonymity makes baby Jesus cry. Like, I just couldn't imagine walking through the fleet and having something like APB's open voice chat system. I would be called everything in the book and some stuff I've never even heard of, walking from the bank to the mailbox. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to hear what some 13-year-old from Wisconsin has to say. I don't care what Steve from UConn has to say. I just want to know what the 4 people I'm rolling with, what they have to say.
Well, and I guess that's the whole point of a guild, right? I mean, you're choosing to play with, you know, you're choosing who you play with. You're choosing to be with adults, or you're choosing to be with people, like-minded people. And if you're hopping on random voice chat with random people, you are going to get run-of-the-mill. I mean, it's basically like walking up to any crazy on the street and just start striking up a conversation with them. Oh, the things that children will say. Bill Cosby knows all about it. Vertec, I see you have your giant cat head on right now. So what do you think about this? I know that you aren't the kind of guy who wants to just go out there and just strike up a chat with some random psychos, but do you think that this kind of system would be good? I'm not calling all SWTOR players psychos, but do you feel like, you know, you would run into just too many crazies with an in-voice chat program?
Well, see, I'm one of those, I don't have too much fear about running into crazies. It just doesn't really bother me, I guess, too much. But the only thing I would have an issue with is...
Says the man who looks like a kitty cat, but I'm sorry.
Hey, I'll take scratch behind the ears from anybody. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But seriously, when it comes to implementing something like that in the game, I mean, they're going to bump into a balance issue of how how much quality do they add to it? Because then it's going to drag down everybody's computer, and if it's built into the game, people are going to expect that you have to be running it, or else you can't come to this or can't come to that, or we're going to kick you out of the app if you're not running it, and blah blah, so on and so forth. That's what I see and what I would fear being the issue, because then they're also going to have to jack up the minimum requirements for your CPU. Whereas if they just keep it as, if somebody wants to have vent, they can have vent, and they can invite whoever they want to it, and we'll call it a day.
I mean, so many problems come along with the voice chat. Oh my God, I could list the problems. I want to read a audience comment here real quick with Some Better Than You. This one sums up a lot of my feelings. Some Better Than You saying, people will be running around dropping the N-word like crazy. Oh yes, they will. And if that's the most offensive word to you, they'll be using that one. If there's another one, they'll be using that one too. And that's the way it works. And I don't want to listen to people dropping the N-bomb all day when I'm playing a video game. And I don't want to listen to people calling everyone under the sun fake and gay, calling people out. And the way I envision in-game voice chat is like videos you see on YouTube. Especially with first-person shooters like built-in Xbox in-game voice chat, there's entire shows on YouTube dedicated to the retarded conversations that happen and just smack talk that occurs on these voice chat. And it's insane, the horribly destructive things that people say to other people, and this stuff really has to affect your psyche. I hop onto video games to have fun, to keep it light, and that type of thing. And I don't want to have to deal with smack talk from a 13-year-old. I had enough of that when I was in middle school, and I don't want to deal with it now. And but at the same time, I would like to have. I kind of do want to entertain the option of having the option to just turn on in-game voice chat with somebody. If say you have a group of 3 people within your guild, and you got one pug you just picked up for a hard mode Black Talon, wouldn't it be nice though to be able to turn on chat and just bring this one guy into your chat and be like, hey man, let's coordinate? In those types of cases, it would be good. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely with all of my views against and what I could see going wrong with it, I would absolutely love if they could iron out a good system that would work and be filterable and not drag everybody's PC down to where they drop frame rates because they're suddenly hitting a PC bottleneck, or a CPU bottleneck rather.
Gotcha.
Well, I think that they should also have a rating system that if you see somebody that's not acting accordingly, that you might be able to write a report card or give them some dots or something to let people know it's like, this guy's not cool to roll with because he's just an idiot.
That type of system, it can be good. It can also be abused. If you look at a lot of servers that are highly competitive, if there's a particular person, people can get targeted, they can get flagged, and they can get banned unjustly when an entire another guild, for example, battle. I'm not going to name any guilds right now, but I've seen examples of this where factions will battle on either side. It'll be highly competitive on a PvP level, and they don't like one person in particular or anything they said, so they get together and they say, well, you know what? All of us are going to thumbs down, or we're all going to do the negative button on their particular content or their particular thing, and they gather together and do this stuff vindictively. And if this occurs in-game, that's going to drive a lot of people away, and it's going to let a lot of that, it's going to be a catalyst for all that hate, all that hatred and anger that people have. And I don't know if BioWare wants to open up that box right there. You know what I mean? That's dangerous.
True. Yeah, I agree. It would be nice to let in the new guy, if you're doing a pug or whatever, but the cons totally outweigh the pros. I don't want Timmy from Wisconsin dropping the N-word because he's like, oh, you're Bordeaux, I know you. You're black. I don't want someone following me anytime that we get proximity, he has a conversation with me.
Right. No, that's a really good point. And he's got his chart next to his decks of black, and the lines drawn to the N-word, and then Chinese people, the lines drawn to slurs there. That's what those people are like. They just want to offend everybody because they think it's hilarious.
And they're not all from Wisconsin either.
We got nothing against Wisconsin, all right? All right, I think we've covered
cheese.
I think we've covered this one. There are some pros. There is some extra things that need to be implemented, perhaps markers, perhaps something like pinging in MOBAs or something to help increase communication in PvP scenarios for sure. But it's got to be fairly dynamic, and it's got to be real easy to use, because people can't have 20 commands available to them. They have to be like Shift K H Y L. Okay, we're gonna that means flank from the left and then retreat immediately afterwards. I mean, it's got to be really freaking simple. So anyway, I think we agree there is a need there, but voice chat probably not the best option. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next discussion topic. Thank you to everybody who put out their comments. There is one here I want to read before we go from Bully818 saying, you just need a party voice chat, an option that only comes up when you're within a group, so it can't be random people chatting with you and that type of thing. I agree with that to a certain point. Obviously, there's some problems that come along with that, but that would certainly lessen the chances that you would get a random M-bomb or random whatever bomb dropper. So, okay.
Well, even if it was just the ops leader, that could talk to everybody, that would work too. So,
yeah, that's not a bad idea. But then a lot of people might just anyway. There's so many problems here, but that's actually not a bad idea too. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next topic up for bids is PvP related as well, folks. PvP gear bonuses. What am I talking about? I'm talking PvP gear versus PvE gear. The statistics. I want to talk about the balance between the two, and bonus subject. How come PvE gear is better for PvP than PvP gear? What the heck? At the highest level, folks, you see the highest level PvP players using a handful of PvP gear, and then the other half, it's PvE gear. And that makes them best for PvP. I'm not going to share my opinion on it yet. I'm going to open that one up to you guys, because this is, I find this quite disturbing, that, crossing gear from one to the other is actually beneficial, personally. Anyway, I'm going to leave my opinion out of it. What do you guys think about the topic of balance between PvP and PvE gear and their uses in-game?
I think that if you have the ability to match sets like that, and you find out it's a benefit, kudos to you. You figured out something that other people haven't done, and you're steamrolling people. That's great for you because you have put in the work on both fronts. You can't get 4 pieces of champion and 4 pieces of Kalumi unless you do both. So if that person mix matches them and they get a benefit, good for them. And if you don't have it, you need to step up your game. You need to go get it if you want what they have.
Dang, Cinnabon, I disagree, but then that's a legit opinion, though. If it's out there, go get it. They put in the work to get it, and so therefore they deserve to get the benefits from it. That's a totally legitimate argument. That's totally legitimate. What do you think about this, Big Nate?
well, I really do believe that maybe more balance needs to happen. But if you look at SWTOR, it's basically 2 different games. You've got the PvE and you get the PvP. And you're going to have people that are going to go more PvP than PvE, but on occasion, you get the people that do both, which yourself, you did a lot of questing, you did a lot of PvP, and so you have both sets of gear that are relatively at the same level right now. Now, where you'll see the benefit happen is that as you progress more on the PvP side, as you've been doing this week to get to 60, I just totally see the benefits being there when you get your Battle Master gear. But then, where do you go to get the PvE gear that's equal to that? I don't think there is anything past that, is there?
No.
Equal to Battle Master?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing equivalent as of yet, unless the next patch or the next expansion comes out.
Yeah, the Ricotta.
Ricotta gear, would be the equivalent.
Gear.
And that's what I'm talking about in PvP. People PvPing at the highest level are using Battle Master gear, and then they're going to go ahead and mix in some Ricotta PvE gear into the mix to make them better at PvP. Whereas, one would think... Hold on, before I share my opinion, that's what's going on. I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your point, Big Nate.
Well, I just, I have to agree with Bordeaux, because, if you have the gear, then you should be able to wear it. Now, is it fair that PvPers get, less of a bonus because they got a full set of PvP gear? I don't think that's right either. So I guess I'm riding the fence here, and I'm just going to have to wait and see what they do about it.
You don't know what's best because you haven't seen major changes get put into place, and you don't know what could get broken or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's too much to. There's other things that need to be taken care of first, but the gear is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed at some point.
Fair enough. And I'm seeing some comments here. Thy Bounty Hunter saying, haven't looked, but doesn't PvP gear trade off one stat? so you can add expertise? And the answer is yes. Yes, it does, which is great. However, the problem here is that there is diminishing returns in terms of expertise when you're gearing yourself up for PvP. So that answers that question. But I keep wanting to make my point, but before I do, I want to give Vertec his fair shake to express his point.
All right. One of the big things that had me weighing in on splitting a 2-piece and 2-piece is my 4-piece bonus for PvP is pretty terrible. But then again, that's also my opinion. I talked to another operative and they love it. And the 2-piece bonus is good. The 2-piece bonus on both PvP and PvE is good. But the 4-piece bonus for PvP takes me from 100 energy up to 105 energy. That's a 4-piece bonus. It gives me 5 energy.
Whoa.
And that's like a third of even the weakest skill that I ever use.
That's terrible.
So,
that's a crappy bonus. That's a crappy bonus.
Yeah. I mean, if it were like 10 energy, it might be debatable, but 5 is
Meh. Fair enough. I can understand that. And I'm seeing a comment here from Works123. Once you get about 500 to 600 expertise, Ricotta gear is superior to PvP gear because of the diminishing returns in expertise. So that leads me to my point. That there should not be diminishing returns with expertise. In my opinion, and I'm a purist, PvP gear should be earned through doing PvP, which it is, in-game. That's great. I think that PvP gear should always be best for PvP, because that's what it's designed for. I think that PvE gear should always be best for PvE, because that's what it's designed for. And with the diminishing returns that comes into place with expertise, once you hit about 500, you're at around the 10% mark in terms of your benefit with expertise, in terms of your damage reduction and your damage and your healing. So at that point, you can either decide to give yourself, like as a tank for example, go ahead and pull off some of your PvP gear and drop some Ricotta in there and pick up like an extra 2k health plus a bunch of aim, plus a bunch of your primary stat, plus a bunch of shielding, accuracy, and whatever the hell you want, or you can get plus 2% to damage reduction and damage. I mean, the choice is clear. I'd rather take plus 2,000 health and all these other benefits over just a couple measly percentages because expertise is diminishing returns like that. I don't like that. I think that you should be best for PvP when you have a full set of PvP gear on. And that's why you earned that gear through PvP. And does this system, what one plus here, is it does encourage players to do both. It does encourage players, PvP players, to go do PvE content. Why? Because you have to get the best gear for PvP. Do I like that? No. Is it good for encouraging them to kind of branch out and do new stuff? Yes. So, overall, I disagree, but I understand the logic. Audience, what do you guys think?
They better agree.
So saith Awall.
So saith Awall. Allocation saying that he has 652 expertise, and he only has a 12.1 bonus, and that's terrible.
That's
you know,
absolutely terrible.
you could have taken away like 4 of your pieces of gear allocation, as you know, and you could beef up your HP, your damage, just out the freaking yin yang. But you're choosing to do, you know, if you choose to do all PvP set, then you're actually nerfing yourself in PvP, and that's quite crappy. And one person asking in the comments, why do I wear the sunglasses? Well, first of all, I'm really, really cool, and I'm allowed to. And as you can see, I've got ridiculously bright light bulbs in my face. That's why I have a green screen here, folks, because I'm a professional, and I'm awesome. Okay, I think we've covered this subject thoroughly. Any other thoughts clear from you guys, closing thoughts before we move on to the next one?
Not for me.
Alright, we got another gear-related topic. Crafting items powerful enough. This is the one that we added earlier. I want to very briefly cover this one. Bordeaux, I'm just going to kick it straight over to you. We're starting to run short on time, so let's cover this one real quick. Basically, the subject here, crafting items are kind of crappy. A lot of people think that they're kind of crappy, and you can't get good enough stuff by crafting to really motivate people to do it. Would you agree with this sentiment, Cinnabon?
1000%. I can make 15 different kinds of guns, a sword, fiber blades, knives, and guess what? It's all terrible as soon as you get your hands on a piece of Kalumi. What incentive do I have to go out and craft anything? I'm like, literally after the show, I'm gonna go drop Arms Tech and pick up Biochem because it's that terrible.
Wow, you're gonna be one of those people that drops it like it's hot and goes to pick up. So basically, you can't craft anything that is, you know, obviously you want to keep crafting limited, so where, everything that's awesome isn't through crafting. But would you agree that, a good system would be have a handful of items in both the PvE and PvP category that you can get through crafting that are better than anything else, but make it so that you can't craft an entire set of the best items? I mean, is that the best way to handle it?
Yeah, something like that. If I could just craft, let's say, barrels, just amazing barrels, no matter where you go, if you're not crafting a barrel, it's garbage. If you did that, I'd be like, great, arms tech is worthwhile because everyone who uses a gun has to come to me to get a barrel. As it stands right now, I couldn't give away a gun. I couldn't give away a barrel. People don't want them. They're terrible.
Fair enough. Big Nate, I see you leaning forward like you got something to say here. Well, what do you think about this one, buddy?
Well, I have to agree with Von Cinnabon. The system to where it was almost like the crafting system was thrown in there just to appease the people that were coming over from WoW that like to do it.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly, you could strip that out of the game completely, and the game would be fine. I mean, it would still work
without a crafting system altogether. So you're saying, in your opinion, crafting is not adding that much to the game right now.
Well, crafting is not balanced with what you can get in game.
I see.
Unless you're going to go there and reverse engineer everything. I mean, if I were to buy a piece of ricotta and then got that, I'd have to buy 10 of them, reverse engineer them all, and then maybe there's a chance that I might be able to get something to craft that's something that's either equal or a little bit better.
I'm seeing a comment here from the audience from Kanedisu saying crafting right now is good for low levels. You can craft really, really BA stuff for low-level characters. But in the end, that's not what's going to motivate crafters in the long run, right? You get your crafting up to 400. Are you really doing that to craft for your low-level characters? Here's another comment here from Taz. Crafting is only good for leveling, but when you're 50 at 400 crafting, it's useless right now. So this seems to be a general sentiment in the community where you can't craft awesome stuff. Therefore, why are you going to put in all the effort to do that? Vertec, what's your thoughts on this?
I can definitely see that point of view, and really I can agree on it. Even being one of the OP classes, or OP crew skills of Cybertech, there's not much I can really make outside of my grenades that are, of use. Until I start getting into the raiding, now I can make my Kalumi earpiece, which I'm waiting on a Mastercraft to come through with that and get a little plug-in for it and augment. And then it really will be like the best in slot that I can possibly get. But, I mean, I had to wait for that pattern to drop, and then I had to, get the crafting materials out of the raid to craft it. I don't know if the other crew skills have that or not, but Cybertech did, and it took a little while to really get to that part.
Fair enough. One other benefit here that is nice, Kanedisu is making the point that you can craft stuff for your alts, which is good. But once again, that kind of makes it a womp womp wow type of thing, as opposed to what you're saying, biochem. You can make stems that straight make you berserk.
No market.
What's that?
There's no market. I mean,
well, I guess that's one thing. If you make a powerful crafting system, then all of a sudden the economy goes through the roof. People want to buy stuff other people are making, and that gives extra motivation for crafters to continue to do the thing that they do. So I think we agree. I think the community agrees. Crafted items need to be a bit more powerful. And I think that BioWare, most likely they're aware of that, and they'll be working on it moving forward. So I think we covered that one pretty decently. Last discussion topic here. We're going to do this one very briefly, and then we're going to get into the last segment of the program, which is Vertex Trivia Question. Oh yeah, and we've got BA prizes this week, folks. Oh yeah, the best ones of all time, in fact. This right here is actually a really cool discussion topic, and it's real quick answers from you guys. Boom, the new Star Wars movie's coming out in 3D. Are you going to go see them? Post in the comments, guys. Folks in the audience, type 1 if you are going to go see these new Star Wars movies in theaters, if you're going to drop all your cash into seeing these again for like the 20th time to George Lucas. Post a 2 if you refuse to go see these, and there you go. So I want to see those comments here in the comment box. I'm going to open this up. I know Von Cinnabon has a strong opinion about this. You shared it with us pre-show. So what you thinking about these? Are you going to go see them or not?
It's like, if I go to see it, it's like, yes, Mr. Lucas, please stab me in the kidney, and yes, please take my wallet. Like, George Lucas, you got plenty of my money. Can you please stop? I went to go see Red Tails. What else do you want from me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, I'm not going to go see this movie.
I saw Red Tails. Are we cool now, bro? Wow. Oh my gosh. Huge response here from the audience on this one. Let's just take a look at some of these before we move on, then we'll get to you on this one, Vertec. A big mix of 1s and 2s, mostly 2s. Nope, 2. I'd rather see the Star Wars Christmas special in 3D. The comment here from Tweak and Spank. A handful of 1s though, don't get me wrong. Mostly hell no's. Wow, from the audience here. There are some people with some hell yes, and so, you know, how can you resist? And George Lucas ruined my childhood, other people are saying. Some really extreme statements regarding this re-release and this enhance of these Star Wars films. So, the serious Star Wars here, the comment is a 1977 Star Wars. Yes, we all know there's a divide between people like the old school ones and the new school ones. So obviously this first episode coming out, guys, is new school. So does this affect anyone's decision? And post that in the comments, guys. Are any of you going to go see the old ones because you're a purist from back in the day? Are you from that camp? And you're just going to skip the new ones? I'd be curious to know if you guys fall into that category. Vertec, how about you? You going to go see these? You going to watch all of them? Or are you just going to say, meh?
Me, I know I'm going to get a bunch of boos from this, but I am going to go see it, mainly because, again, following the whole community thing, I got a bunch of friends that either haven't seen Episode 1 at all, or they're just big fans of Star Wars from back in the day, and they haven't seen any of the new stuff, or they barely remember the old stuff, and they really want to go out and see it because it's Star Wars anything, and it's coming in 3D on the big screen, and they haven't seen any Star Wars on the big screen at all. So I'm going to go out with them, and I'm going to check it out. We're going to make actually a big, I think it's about 6 of us now, I think, that are looking to go all out at one night.
Wow. All right. Well, I like that. I like that community thing that you're doing, bringing Star Wars to people. You know, just having fun and bringing the universe to people. I totally support that. Big Nate, what's your thoughts here, buddy?
You know, I stood in line for 3 hours to see the original Star Wars, A New Hope, with my dad. We saw it 9 times that week.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old. I remember the original. It was the first epic movie that I saw with my dad, and it was the most memorable day of my life as a young kid, you know, growing up. I like the new movies because I was able to take my kids to them. You know,
you were able to do that same thing. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so I mean, the Lucas saga and everything has been an integral part of my life, which is why I play the game, which is why I support, you know, SWTOR, LucasArts, all the stuff that comes out. I end up putting money into. But this is just blatant. If they would have said, you know, Phantom Menace 3D without Jar Jar Binks, they would have just basically wrote him out of the story. Yes, I would have gone.
Wow. I'm seeing a lot of Jar Jar comments to support you here, bro. The Jar Jar movie ruiner, and the comment I think that maybe sums up your thoughts and your frustration here. Jar Jar in 3D, no. Coming from Thunder Lily.
I mean, I love George Lucas's creative mind, but you know, unfortunately, you know, I've never wanted anybody to die sooner, so they could actually, you know, and not have it so castrated.
Wow. Okay, I think your thoughts on that one are pretty clear. You have made things clear. Vader. Wow. I'm not going to get too much into my opinion on this because this is a huge, oh my god, this is a box to open up with new movies versus old movies. I think that there were some mistakes made in the new movies. Of course, our expectations were through the roof on that, considering the old movies. I was raised on them as well. Every weekend, me and my dad would watch like the entire trilogy every single weekend, and that's why I've got an amazing Emperor impression. Because my father taught me that, and also he's got a pretty good Obi-Wan, and it's part of how I grew up, and my family really rallied around these movies, and that's probably why I'm doing this show right now, is because I grew up with those original films, so they mean a lot to me. So I'm going to be in the in-between position. I'm probably not going to go see the new ones in theaters. I don't know, now that I'm talking about it, I'm looking at this Fandango page. I'm thinking I might go see it. I don't know. It's hard to turn down Star Wars, bro. Like, even these new ones, when I was like, man, they screwed up so bad. But man, I sure did go see each of the new ones 3 times because I love Star Wars so much. So I'm probably going to end up breaking down to go see it, guys, because I love Star Wars. So, all right. I think we've all shared our thoughts there, and that one opens up just a whole Pandora's box of opinions about new movies versus old movies. So, regardless, I think we can conclude that George Lucas will make a lot of money off of this. So
we love you, George.
We do love George.
Just quit taking my kidneys.
Quit taking my kidneys.
I'm gonna have to organ donate myself just to go to movies if I wanted to. Jeez.
All right, he's gonna get our money. So anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna go ahead and play a quick commercial, and we're gonna get into the most sick trivia and giveaway segment of all time on the show. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Why won't George
This is
stop
the
taking
last
my
part of the
money?
show.
Okay.
This is the last part of the show right here. We're ending it after this segment.
Sorry, honey.
I'm gonna bring out George on this one because it's money.
The real question
Yeah,
is,
I really.
when
hope
does he
you
have
get
enough
good-
money? When does he have? He has like $4 billion. When is enough?
I don't think it's about the money anymore, even though I'm sure it's about the money on some level. But I mean,
I think it's outside of his control at this point. I think it goes beyond him.
he's gonna.
Created a monster.
He doesn't need more money, but I think he just, a guy in his position, why not continue to be creative and continue to reach new levels of success?
But creative? Are you kidding me? Okay.
All right,
both of them were directors
All right,
on Jaws.
I'm shutting that off. I'm shutting this off. This argument is like a 70-hour argument. All right, we're gonna get into Vertex segment. He likes to drop a trivia question on us every week, and this week we've got a unique take on it. So I'm just gonna give this over to you right now, Vertex, and don't forget about my bonus part of the prize package, the grand prize. It's all yours, Vertex.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna put on a special happy face for this one because we just got done talking about money, and this giveaway here is money. So, let me go ahead and real quick announce what the prize is going to be. Get you real thinking and get your Google fingers ready. So the prize for this is going to end up being, out of my own happy little pocket, I'm going to be picking up 1 month of game time for somebody. 1 game time card for 30 days. Okay, now, aside from that, Mr. Awall is also going to be allowing this winner to come on show for an entire episode, 1 through 5 o'clock p.m., for his entire live stream show.
That's
Now-
right. You'll be able to play with me the entire show. We'll be on voice chat, and we will straight chill for an entire episode, PvP, PvE, whatever you want. That will be part of the grand prize that I'm throwing in here.
Okay, now I'm going to read through this description twice. And then after I get done with this, I'm going to call out the actual question. Now, you don't want to type out the answer in chat here. You want to get it ready, and Mr. Awall can toss up the email address that you will be sending these to. The first 6 answers will be the winners for this week. You will then progress till next week, where it'll be narrowed down to 3 out of those 6. So, starting with 6 winners this week, those 6 will be eliminated down to 3 next week, and the week after will be eliminated down to 1. So here we go, if you're ready. So, the Republic enjoyed a time of peace after the Great Hyperspace War. Following this peace, a Dark Lord seized an opportunity to cause political turmoil, leading to a preemptive strike against the Republic. The war may have been won by the Sith if it hadn't been for Sith being Sith, and the Dark Lord's apprentice turned on him. He then abandoned his forces and concocted a scheme to blow up a star and everything surrounding it to escape to Korriban. There was also a slight skirmish there by people who were supporting him, fighting those that did not support him. So once more, after that skirmish was kind of won, he escaped to another planetary system to be replaced by another Dark Lord. Now again, the Republic enjoyed a time of peace after the Great Hyperspace War. Following this peace, a certain Dark Lord seized an opportunity to cause political turmoil, leading to a preemptive strike against the Republic. The war may have been won by the Sith if it had not been for typical Sith being Sith, and the Dark Lord's apprentice turned on him. He then abandoned his forces, blew up a star to secure his escape to Korriban. After a skirmish there between forces that support him and forces that do not, he escaped to another planetary system to be replaced by yet another Dark Lord.
You have to email
Now-
the answer. Email the answer. That is the key
email
part.
the answer.
Email the
You're not
answer,
supposed
and
to
we will
hear.
be able to tag this based on when the emails come in so we can have it be official. Because this is a multi-tiered contest, folks, with major prizes to hang out with a Z-list internet celebrity.
Okay, so there are 3 separate pieces of information you need for this, and it can all be located, by the way, somewhere on the SWTOR.com website.
So do you want to go ahead and post up the comments into chat here, into the Twitch chat to help people out?
Okay, let me go ahead and copy this right out, and I'll paste it right in. But the question is, who led that initial charge? Which Sith Lord led that initial charge? What planet did he finally retreat to? And what is the official title of the replacement Dark Lord? Again, after the hyperspace war, which Dark Lord seized that opportunity to cause political turmoil and lead that preemptive strike against the Republic? After his defeat, what planetary system did he finally retreat to, and what is the official title of his replacement? Again, this can all be found in one spot on SWTOR.com.
Guys, this trivia segment, it just got real. It just got real. This is not an easy answer here, guys.
Bam.
Well, the answer's easy to find if you know where to look.
That's very true. About most questions, probably. So, now that we're going to let people simmer on this question for a minute, and then are you going to reveal the answer on the show? Are you going to give people time to email this in, or how long would you like to wait here, Vertex, so we can get those emails straight over here? You guys need to email the answer, projecttormailbag@gmail.com. Now, we could do a beatbox on the show in the meantime to give people some time to answer. What do you guys want to do?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and say that it might take those people who don't know it right now, it might take them a little while to dig it up. So you may just want to go ahead and post the answer on like an annotation on the video when it gets put up on YouTube, and let them kind of stew over it till then.
Okay, that sounds good. The answer will be on an annotation on the YouTube video, and right now, boom, it's going to appear on the screen. Whoa! So the annotation is right there, next to me, on the screen right now on YouTube. So be sure to check this out, and you can always check out, I know it's retarded to say that like during the live stream, but you guys can check that out on my Twitch TV channel. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right now. And if you guys scroll down my Twitch TV channel and you scroll down to the bottom, the latest episode of Project TOR is always posted there at the bottom. So if you guys want to know how to check this out, here's my page right here. Just scroll down to the bottom. Latest episode will be down here. Project TOR Live number 8 will be posted within 24 hours of this episode. You'll be able to catch the annotation at the end of the episode, which will contain the answer. Then, those that submitted the correct answer to the mailbag right here, projecttormailbag@gmail.com, will advance to the next round and will have a chance at epic prizes. All right, excellent. So thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, and let's go ahead and wrap things up just a little bit here. Big Nate, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to you. Plug what you want to plug here before we're done with the episode, and tell everybody how they can catch up with you, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Awall's Army and your site, and how can people catch up with you? What's the best way, my friend?
Well, I guess the easiest way to get a hold of me is to come to the show Monday through Friday between 1 and 5 p.m. Eastern, because I will be moderating the show as long as I'm able to. There's the Awall Army fan site on Facebook. You can get me on Twitter as well, and I have those posted all on the fan site. So I guess the easiest way is to go to Facebook and pull up the fan site link.
All right, I'm pulling up
you can
right
just
now.
Do even a search, if you don't have the link available. But
well, I'm going to post it in the video description below this YouTube video, and then I just put it into the Twitch comments so everybody can catch up with that.
Yeah, and it's very important to support your community. So if we're asking you to do something on air for any show, I mean, this could go for any person that's doing live casting. Please, click the ads that we put the commercials onto. You don't have to buy the thing. Just click it, get an open window, look at it for a minute, and then close it. I mean, all those hits go into our pocket, and, it helps the show. So, I mean, anything you can do to help promote the show, then we can get bigger and better giveaways. I mean, this giveaway is huge. And Vertec, I have to applaud you for putting that out there. I really appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is they always do like the estimated value of a prize package. Over $35,000 is the answer.
Yeah,
over 35,000. In fact, over 9,000 at least.
over 9,000.
Over 9,000. All right, we need to wrap this show up because I'm keeping you guys long. I apologize. Okay, Bordeaux von Cinnabon. I've got your channel. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here. How can people catch up with you if they want to experience the fury of Bordeaux? Other than I'm posting up a link right now to your live stream.
That's where you catch me. You catch me at my live stream, or you catch me at Twitter at SWTOR. That's where my General, second command, whatever. She does all my twittering and stuff because I don't know how to use the computas or the interwebs very well. So yeah, catch me at twitch.tv/Bordeaux85 or at Twitter at SWTOR.
Nice. And Vertek, you are made of straight up money right now. How can people catch up with you, my friend, if you want to be followed?
Okay, they can follow me at Vertek_DMA. That's at VIRTEK_DMA on Twitter. Vertek at TORSyndicate.com by email. And I have a Google Plus page, but don't be offended if I don't check it too often. I'm still getting used to that one. And that's Vertek.DMA.
All right, there you go. All right, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you joining me on the show today. Big Nate, Von Cinnabon, I really appreciate you guys guest starring the show. It was awesome to have you. Vertek, as always, you are awesome as well, and I will see you in the next episode, my friend. And so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Really appreciate you guys watching in the audience. Be sure to follow my live stream if you aren't already to catch the show every week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to check out the link in the video description below if you haven't already followed this show, because it is awesome. So I'm going to ask you guys to give an awkward goodbye. You know the kind of awkward goodbye I like.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and peace out, guys, and I will see you tomorrow on my stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to go ahead and sign out, and boom, sucker. See ya.